People worldwide are struggling with the concept of self-isolation and don't know what it means. Well, it's very, very simple for football fans. Just think Steven Gerrard and Premier League trophy. He managed to self-isolate himself from that for 30 years. So look, it's not that hard. We can do it for 3 months. Hello and welcome to the United Stand. I hope you're all doing well this Monday morning. Latest Manchester United news and transfer news. Some interesting news about when Manchester United may be returning back to training. Remember, they're self-isolating themselves at the moment, training at home, etc. There is a date in April that they have penciled in to come back. That's movable, but it's a bit of a positive news this Monday morning. But let's start off with Antoine Griezmann and Paul Pogba. Over the weekend, we've seen stories that Pogba has urged Mino Raiola, his agent, to open up discussions with Ed Woodward. I think that there is numerous reports talking about this, and there's a realisation, as we've been talking about over the last couple of weeks with Pogba and the last year, really. As I said, I don't want to repeat myself too much, but over the last year, I've been told 3 times from somebody at Manchester United that the club will not be looking to sell him. We saw Solskjaer 2 weeks ago in the press conference over in Austria saying that he expects to see Paul Pogba there next season. And I think Pogba and his entourage are now starting to realise what's happening there, that he will have to stay. But also, interestingly, could we see a reunited in a, obviously international they've played together, but Premier League, Antoine Griezmann and Paul Pogba at Manchester United? Who would have thought that a couple of months ago? We'll talk about that transfer story and my thoughts on it in a moment. But in relation to Paul Pogba, over the weekend we are seeing these stories that Pogba wants Raiola to sit down and talk with Manchester United and effectively, I would imagine, keep his mouth shut about dreams about moves to Real Madrid and Pogba being unhappy and English people being sensitive about Paul Pogba, etc., etc. The reality is Pogba, Neymar, Mbappe, Sancho, very interesting summer coming ahead. I think all those players, ideally, back in January, would have been thinking, I'm looking for a move in the summer. But now in this new world, as we were talking about last night, check out last night's show for the inner depth of what may be going on in the transfer market. I think all those players are priced out of a move. It's going to be very, very difficult, especially for Neymar and Pogba and Mbappe, to get these dream moves to Madrid or wherever it is they're thinking that they're going to go, when many clubs are going to be tightening their belts financially. So Pogba looking to get that discussion going with Raiola and Ed Woodward. Does that mean a new contract? What would your thoughts be about Pogba getting a new contract? Or do you think it's just about calming it down and I'm going to stay for another year? I mean, look, many people feel about Pogba is that, look, he definitely wants to go. This is people's opinion. And to be honest with you, I don't disagree with it. I think what his agent has said, what Pogba hasn't said, it looks like Pogba wants to go. He wanted to go last summer. And why would that change? But again, we're keeping a player that doesn't want to be here. Is that a good thing? But how can he move? How can we let him go? We can't let him go on the cheap. So we've got to make, I think I would welcome the conversation that Raiola and Pogba are going to have with Manchester United, because to me, I don't see a way out of this. I think he's got to stay for another year because there's so much uncertainty in the transfer market and around football at the moment. And if we get a proper Paul Pogba, I mean, look, let me just explain it this way. If Paul Pogba got his dream move to Real Madrid, do you think he would be Mr. Inconsistent there? Or do you think he would go inspired and become the Paul Pogba that we all know he can be? Well, I think he would become a better player there because that's where he wants to be. So if he gets into a mindset that he can't go there and he's got to stay at United, and it's not because United are forcing him to stay, it's because at this moment in time, this is the best place for him, maybe we'll get a more consistent, better, happier Paul Pogba. So that is a positive. We'll just have to wait and see, but I would say at this moment in time, I'm 80% sure we'll see Paul Pogba in a Manchester United shirt next season. I know some people won't be happy about that, and I get it. The way he's treated the club through his agent hasn't been great. But maybe, mindsets will change with Pogba and he will become more devoted to the cause and happy here. And that should lead to a better Pogba. Could we see an Antoine Griezmann joining him at Manchester United? Now, this is interesting. Over the weekend, outlets in Spain basically saying that Barcelona do not want Griezmann anymore. He hasn't been a success. I've got to be honest, I don't know what your thoughts are on Griezmann, because mine, 2 or 3 years ago, he was the number 7 I wanted at United. I mean, I was obsessed with Griezmann coming to United, a bit like I was for Bruno for the last 18 months. I wanted Griezmann. He would have fitted us like a glove. He was coming to Manchester United. Man United worked on that deal for about 8 months. And then in the summer, because Atletico Madrid got that transfer ban, he loyally stayed with them. And that was the end of that, because that hesitancy led to other clubs coming in and he didn't fancy the United move anymore. I think it was 2 or 3 years ago, I think, wasn't it? So we got that close to getting Griezmann. And I think 3 years ago, when he was 26, I would have took that deal. I think he was ready to take that move, and I liked Griezmann then. But And this is not because he snubbed us at all. I think over the last 3 years with Griezmann, he stayed at Atletico Madrid. There was fits and look. Sometimes Antoine Griezmann looked absolutely fantastic. Sometimes he looks like the French Dele Alli, and I think that's what Griezmann's been like over the last 3 years. The French Dele Alli more than one of the best players in the world. I mean, I used to put Griezmann in the top 5 players in the world. I wouldn't even put him in the top 10 now. I don't think he's consistent. I don't think he's that good. I think he's become the French Dele Alli, and Dele Alli a few years ago looked very, very good. He doesn't now. So would I want Griezmann at United? I'm going to give a big fat no. No, I wouldn't. I mean, how much money would they want? We don't know in the transfer market, but I think in a real transfer market, you probably would want about 70 to 80 million pounds for somebody who's just turned 29, who actually isn't hitting the heights anymore. It's another Alexis Sanchez. United should swerve this like they should swerve any bad deal like this anymore. 29 years of age. He's Alexis Sanchez written all over it. Oh, he's got a big name. No, not at 29. No, and I don't really care about your relationship with Paul Pogba, what great mates you are, what great chemistry you might have. That's not what United are now. If Pogba decides to stay at Manchester United, you knuckle down, you get your hard work, and you work your way into this team. At the moment, you've got Paul Pogba there. You've got Manchester United here. We've got Bruno, we've got Rashford, we've got Martial, we've got Greenwood, we've got Fred, we've got McTominay, Luke Shaw, Maguire, Wan-Bissaka, Williams. We're building a future, and we're building a team that's grafted this season really hard at times. It's been really tough, but over the last month, they've really come together and shown us something that hopefully we can latch onto. So Pogba coming back as the star of the show? No, Pogba come back, work your way into that team. We've got new stars now. I don't want Griezmann and Pogba. I want Pogba if he wants to be here, but I don't want Griezmann. And I think Barcelona made a mistake. When he went to Barcelona last year, we had rumours that Messi and co didn't really want him. And I just don't think it was ever a good fit. So, no, for me, in relation to Griezmann, it's a big fat no. I don't know what you lot think, but Barcelona can keep their French Dele Alli. I don't want him at United, whether Pogba wants him or whatever. I think it's a bad deal. And also, I don't think we'll sign him because I think this is the sort of deal Ed Woodward would do pre the last year. These are the sort of deals that, if you listen to Manchester United, they said they're not going to do anymore. Whether Woodward and co deserve second chances in relation to what they've done over the last 6 years is highly debatable, but the point remains they made some bad mistakes for 5 years, and over the last year it looks a little bit better. Will they avoid making the mistakes of the last 5 years, going for people like Griezmann, or are we going to keep on this track of buying players like your Brunos, your Wan-Bissakas, your Maguires? And I think this is a real opportunity for United to swerve those sort of sloppy seconds, players that have gone to a big club, failed, and then they think, oh, I'll come to United and get a big payday. No, not for me, not with Griezmann. No matter how likely it is, no. But get your comments in below. Also talk to us about Pogba. Now look, a bit of positive news here. There is talk that Manchester United, this is coming from Manchester Evening News, that Manchester United have penciled in April the 10th as the day that they'll go back training. There is still a hope and a belief that football can start behind closed doors in the Premier League. We spoke about this last night at the start of May. I think it might be a bit optimistic, but, it's a bit like anything, isn't it? I don't think you'll get a load of people saying there's absolutely no chance. You're an idiot, right? But I also think hope is a medicine, and at this moment in time where we are, and I hope you all are doing as much isolation as you can do. I know some people have got to go to work, and that's absolutely fine, of course, but social gatherings, we should be minimising those, and that will get us back to normality quicker. If we are to have Premier League football at the start of May, or at the end of May, or at the middle of June, we will get it back. And Manchester United looking to start their training back on April the 10th. I think that still will be a bit soon. It's only, 2 weeks away, 2.5 weeks away. I think we're about a week and a half away from the sort of height of what the pandemic will be in the UK, and I don't think people will be going back training then. But I think that date of April the 10th has been set to say, look, get back training on April the 10th. That gives you 3 weeks intense training before the first Premier League game back behind closed doors. Obviously, that probably will get pushed back, so our first training date will probably get pushed back to middle to late April, I would imagine anyway. But potentially a little bit of positivity there. And as I said, people just want to be negative. But as I said, if we as a nation observe these isolation rules that are there, then we will get back to normality quicker. We will. And however long that quicker is going to be, I don't know, but we will get back to it quicker. Anyway, thanks everyone for watching. Interesting stories there, of course, around Pogba and Griezmann. Get your comments in below. We're live tonight at 8 o'clock and we will be doing a call in tonight. So thanks everyone for watching. And also, if you want to watch episode 6 of my Manchester United career mode, I will be live with that around 3:30 today on Mark Goldbridge That's Football. The last episode was brilliant. Catch up on that and then watch me live at 3:30. It's going to be very interesting. We're on a roll is all I'm going to say. Thanks for watching. Smash a like. I'll speak to you all soon. Stay safe.